Good morning. Today we are going to see about the applications and future challenges of Human Genome Project or HGP. So first of all, what is HGP we have studied? It's nothing but the genome, genetic composition of a man. It will differ there are million base pair differences in the DNA of human being. We have to analyze the genome of a human being. And this is the basic for if we find out the mapping of human chromosome, we can get the solution for many genetic diseases. It can be corrected. So, applications are more in finding out HGP, and there are a number of challenges in Human Genome Project that we are going to see today. Okay. First, we'll see about what is HGP. The mapping of human chromosome, it is very important. For what purpose we are doing this human chromosome or genome analysis? To examine a person's DNA for the purpose of to identify the genetic abnormalities. If a person is affected by any genetic disease, like Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, a number of diseases we have studied in the 4th lesson. And this can be analyzed by mapping of human chromosomes and the DNA base sequence analysis, isn't it? So this is useful in diagnosing the various diseases, especially genetic disease. For a baby, when it is developing in the fetus, in the early stage itself, if we are taking the scan and we can find out the baby is affected by any genetic disease, we can provide genetic counseling. Or before marriage, for the close relative, consanguine marriage, people, we can give the genetic counseling. And for the people, those are having genetic disease and planning to have the children or not, we can give the genetic counseling for the people, those who are affected by genetic disease. And this information is very important to create many new gene therapies. Therapies means treatment. Many drugs can be prepared for treating many genetic diseases. And for this new gene therapies and the HGP process, and it's very useful, right? And before that, we must have a clear idea about human biology. What are the human body functioning, all the organ system, everything we must know. And non-human organism and other organism, living organism, we must know. So it's called as non-human organism. DNA sequences, it lead to understanding their natural capabilities and towards the challenge in healthcare, agriculture, energy production, and environmental remediation. So we can give the healthcare to the human being, agriculture field we can use for energy production and any environmental pollution, and for their remedies we can use this HGP. And this is a new era in molecular medicines. So new molecular medicines to treat the genetic disease can be detected with the help of this HGP process. And by looking into this, we can find out the cause of the disease. So for example, 21st trisomy, it causes the disease Down syndrome, isn't it? So if we find out the cause of the disease, then we can go for treating the disease, and we can find out the symptoms, and this is an advantage. That is, cause of disease can be identified by mapping of the DNA. So the genetic sequence, that is called as mapping of DNA, and genome can be easy to determine. Some people, they can attempt to use this information for their profit or for political power. They should not do before the childbirth, that is the genetic abnormality or anything if they are doing, and that is okay. And if this information can be passed to some other person, they will use their benefit or profit or political power, then it won't be good. So insurance companies, they refuse to insure the people, those who are having genetic disease. So these persons are called as genetic risk. Genetic disease they are having at the birth itself, these persons are called as genetic risk. And insurance companies, they refuse to give insurance to these people, those who are genetic risk, because the companies, they have to face that more future medical bills, everything. And these peoples, the genetically risk people or genetic disease, those who are having, they are called as less than perfect people. So that's why insurance companies, they refuse to insure such people also. Right? This is a challenge to this. If we are going for genome analysis, we can find out the genetically risk people. Another important fear is also that it is such people, if they are going for reproduction, there is a chance for me to breed out certain genes of the people. Undesired, genetically diseased person's genes can breed out. It can spread from population to another population, and it will increase such category. And that's why to ban this, sometimes the human population or government has taken steps to create the perfect race. If the persons are having genetic disease, they have to check their newborn babies or before the birth itself, the fetus itself, whether they are normal or abnormal without any genetic disease, to create a perfect race. So perfect baby is needed for that people also. They have to check before. Okay. Now coming to this, pharmacogenomics. Pharmacogenomics. This is a study of pharmacology. What is pharmacology? Study about drugs. Genomics, the study of genes and their function. So it is combined. Pharmacogenomics means the study of the genes affect a person's response to drugs. So most of the people, we are consuming drugs when we are affected by any disease. So our genes, it show some effect or affect, it will, the genes affect the response to drugs. That is called as pharmacogenomics. So it is a combined study of pharmacology. What is pharmacology? The science of drugs. All these are the drugs, medicines, what we are taking, the drugs. Genomics means genes, the study of genes and their function. So when we are combining drugs and genes, and that is called as pharmacogenomics. So the drugs as well as the genes, when they combine, that is called as pharmacogenomics. For what purpose we are studying this new study? To develop effective, safe medication. Treatment can be given very effective way, and correct dose can also be given, and if we know a person's genetic makeup. So each person's genetic makeup and genes, they show different response to the drugs. So the study of how the genes affect a person's response to drugs, it's called as pharmacogenomics. Is it clear, ma? We'll see the next one, DNA fingerprinting. Yes.